guys,
it's the Misheard Nerds.
That laugh you did at the end. Well, that wasn't planned. We just kind of decided to say it at the same time.
Yeah, this is Camel X with...
Stubborn Weeb, and this is probably episode 13, 14?
What if it's 15?
That would be a lot of episodes. That's like 150 weeks.
I don't think so.
No, it would only be about 15.
Well, you wouldn't say. This is the 15th episode of our weekly podcast. It would be...
It'd be week 15. If you guys didn't understand it out there...
Yeah, you just have to... Yeah, you had to explain.
Yeah. So anyway, this week we thought we were going to go ahead and run down what we think makes games fun after, of course, after we talk about what we've been playing. So let's go ahead and hop into that. You been playing anything recently?
Mainly I've just been playing KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic. I beat it last night at like 2 in the morning.
It was a school night, Austin, you bad boy.
Oh, yeah. But... I don't like. I knew like the twist was coming in at the end, and if they're actually like remaking it, I don't want to spoil it because
it would get some new people in.
Yeah, and I don't know about the remake or if it's like some sort of like new game that's just taking elements from the Knights of the Old Republic. I don't know what's going on.
They haven't been extremely clear.
Yeah, because they said that they're going to make a game
that'll fit in with new canon.
Yeah, and Knights of the Old Republic itself just.
It fits because it's so far in the past. It doesn't.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. But then there's also stuff that they've said clearly isn't canon.
Yeah.
That is in those games, so I don't know.
But there's it kind of worries me because Disney trying to alter a lot of things to fit with current canon. Now, I think there is room in KOTOR for improvement. It's already a masterful game, but I think there are some things they could add on to it.
Oh, yeah, just like gameplay wise and stuff.
Yeah. I want them to revamp the combat system.
Oh yeah, like it's definitely an older game.
Yeah.
And then there's also like there's no like this is kind of the charm. It's kind of like old school in the way like there's no like real like quest markers and stuff. It doesn't really tell you where to go ever.
Yeah.
You know?
For me though, to be honest, the areas were condensed enough for what we were given. It wasn't really a problem.
No, like, and then it also encouraged exploration and stuff, I think.
It did, and the quest rarely, I don't remember one that went off planet.
There is a couple.
There is a couple?
Yeah, there's a couple where it's all like, go to this planet and talk to this guy and he'll give you...
Even that's pretty. There's like, 5-6 planets?
Yeah.
And it's not like you have to...
I think there's 4 like, that you're going to be spending any time on.
It's very easy to navigate.
Yeah, but I've been playing KOTOR, and I feel like I've been playing something else. But I'm pretty sure I've only been playing KOTOR. Yeah.
Just KOTOR?
Yeah. I got like 40-something hours.
Oh.
Like, just in this week. Like, and most of that was like in the past like 3 days. So.
Wow.
I think I was like 10 hours in, and then I just...
I do hope EA takes notes from... I almost wanted to call it The Last Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
But I hope they definitely shouldn't take notes from The Last Jedi, but I hope they take notes from Jedi Fallen Order. Because EA did release their financial reports and make a comment about it. They did say it did exceed their expectation, and it shows an interest in single-player focused RPGs that they didn't think was available.
Yeah, dude. And that wasn't even like... RPG, man.
No, it was just a single-player game.
But it like had RPG elements, and it was actually
almost every game now has some sort of RPG.
You can say any game is light RPG light. Like,
the new Madden actually has light RPG elements with the.
Most sports games do.
Yeah.
They actually do.
I'll just agree with you on that one.
You don't know?
I haven't looked at a sports game unless.
Well, I haven't either, but I know like. A lot of them do have like RPG elements. Like,
did you hear about the big debacle that a sports game was rated E10 when it literally had gambling simulator?
Oh yeah,
elements.
that kind of stuff. I don't want to get into that. That's for a different episode. We kind of talked about that last time with the DLCs.
No, like, people, just specifically the rating, that it was only rated E10 when it had gambling simulation. Like, you actually went to a gambling casino. You gambled game money.
Really?
And they just didn't think it was appropriate for...
Okay. Okay, yeah, I can see that wouldn't be appropriate.
Yeah.
But there's other games that have had gambling in them, you know.
Yeah, but, I mean, if real gambling is, like...
illegal.
Yeah. Okay, so...
What have you been playing?
As for what I've been playing, I've actually only been playing an old client of Club Penguin I found online. It's really empty, the servers are, because, you know, I'm the only person on that client.
You being for real?
No. What I've actually been playing is... I really haven't done much this week. I played a little bit of Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, but I think I talked about that last week. The only game I've truly played this week is Smash Brothers, because Byleth got released, and I wanted to do a video on him or her. So, yeah, that's about all I've been playing. I took a hot break from Fallout New Vegas because I can only take those Bethesda-like games kind of in smaller doses. Once I get about 40 hours in, I need to kind of cool it for a bit and hop into something else.
But then are you ever going to finish the game then?
I will, yeah.
I always used to do that. Like I've noticed that, like, if I don't stick with a game and I don't kind of force myself to play this game, then I'm just never going to finish it.
Well, that's actually I think something good to lead into this podcast of what makes games fun, because I feel that when I do that, it's just not fun for me. I feel like I'm slogging through it to complete a checklist off of my wall of games I need to play.
For me, it's like, it's not that I don't find the game fun anymore. It's that I'm kind of like, I'm maybe getting a little bored of this game. But it's not like, usually whenever I'm like, I don't really feel like playing that game right now, it's like, I pick it up and start playing it, and I'm like, oh, never mind, I'm good. But, like, I really need to, like, stick to either one or two games at a time.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, then I'm just never going to finish a game.
That's true. I agree with that rule. I have 2 games max going on, unless it's like a side thing like Fighters or just something casual.
Oh yeah, something that you can just, like, if you don't really have that much time to play a game or something.
It's something story focused or something you have to pay attention to.
Yeah, like I'll hop into a game of Fighters anytime. Or,
yeah.
Maybe like some sort of racing game or something, you know.
Yeah. I'd say that's a bit different than something actual story focused and driven like Spyro.
Yeah. Spyro is, like, the lore is so deep and stuff, you know, you just need to, every second that you're playing Spyro, you need your full attention.
Well, they attempted to do that in the last trilogy they made. Do you remember?
Yeah, they did. I remember that, dude. I remember there was one of those games that I thought was, like, really fun.
Yeah, it was really weird because they kind of just completely switched Spyro around. Like, the gameplay was really different. It turned into more of a beat-em-up.
Yeah, it became more of, like, an action, like, beat-em-up type of game with, like, very light RPG elements, right?
Yeah.
Like, because you could, like, get your, like, there's different breath weapons and stuff in a lot of them, right?
Yeah, and the game was always kind of silly and stuff, but this turned into really serious, and I don't know if it retconned Spyro lore. That feels weird to say, but I don't know if it...
I think it was a new version of Spyro.
It was a reboot, a complete reboot.
Yeah. But I remember a lot of those games, I actually liked them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they were bad games.
No, they're fun. It didn't need to be... Are you talking about the new trilogy or the...
Yeah, like the newer Spyro games.
No, they weren't bad. I actually kind of want to get them again.
Yeah.
Yeah. But...
And you also got that Spyro Reignited.
Yeah. Frame rate...
compare.
I could compare. The frame rate makes me feel a little sad, just because... I don't know, like... It kind of... It was kind of okay on the older games, just because of the graphic style it had, but with the newer one, I don't know, it just... I don't like it when things feel really slow. But That's okay. I'll play through it. But what were we talking about? I zoned. Spyro, old games, Reignited Trilogy.
We were talking about what makes a game fun, and then we got on a Spyro tangent.
Okay. I had a point to make, but I forgot. Anyway, so...
Do you want to, okay, so I think, there's, different types of games, and what you enjoy in those types of games are different.
Yeah, but there was something I wanted to, say before we get into the specifics of the game. I think with today, and all these games coming out, it can be very easy to forget that a game's primary incentive, or I guess objective, not incentive, but their primary objective is to entertain you in one way or the other, through an engrossing story, fun gameplay, or both, music. It's kind of the spectacle that we buy to enjoy ourselves, and whether you just want to have fun or gain a new perspective on life or get something interesting. Games really help you develop in a variety of ways, or enjoy your pastime. But I think with the sheer number of things coming out, it can be hard to remember that. Just a while ago, I kind of spiraled out of games because I felt overwhelmed. I felt like I had to play everything.
Yeah.
And I kind of lost sense of what it meant to have fun with a game.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't paying attention to the stories. I wasn't enjoying the combat. I was just going through it so I could say, yeah, I beat that game. It's kind of a weird mentality to have, but have you ever gone through something like that?
I've never gone through something like that, but I do remember there was a point, right before you went through that whole stage, you're like, I'm just going to get rid of everything. I was like, but I was telling you, I'm like, because you were all like, oh yeah, I need to beat that game. Or you're all like, yeah, dude, I'm just slogging through this game right now. And I'm like, you're talking about a game like it's your job, dude. It shouldn't be like that. And you're all like, no, I gotta beat these games.
It wasn't even like I did YouTube back then.
No, you were just like, I need to beat these games, man. I need to push myself through them.
Yeah, and I don't ever want to have to focus on anything like that again. I think that's probably why I realized I hate school now. Because that is just a slog. I don't enjoy it.
Yeah, you're doing it just because you feel like you have to. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of why I think that came to my mind today when we were discussing what we want to talk about, is because the primary focus of a game, the reason why games exist, is for us to have fun.
Yeah.
And that's why I think there's such a wide variety and there's so many different genres of games, because there's so many different things that people enjoy and have fun with.
Yeah.
Someone can really enjoy, let's say, a deep and engrossing RPG with a super good story and with many branching choices and dialogue options, like The Witcher 3, but someone else, that just might not appeal to them.
Yeah.
Me and my dad. My dad, he really likes those simpler types of games. He likes just little action games, like the action adventure games, like they can have a story and stuff.
Yeah.
But he doesn't like it whenever there's so much stuff.
How do you get into Kingdom Hearts?
I think he plays it in a way that you're not really supposed to. Because I don't think the mechanics bother him. I think it's the more I guess the spice of life stuff.
The spice of life?
Yeah. Spice of life stuff.
You mean slice of life?
Slice of life. I'm stupid. Yeah. Slice of life stuff that he
said it so, I thought you meant slice of life, but then you repeated spice of life.
I said spice of life, and I was like, that doesn't sound right. And then I started thinking, and I was like, I don't know. And then you're like, slice of life? I'm like, yes, that's it.
You sounded so confident the second time. I started thinking, am I wrong?
Yeah, but I think that's the kind of stuff that bothers him, because I still remember him talking about Grand Theft Auto San Andreas and how he didn't like that you had to work out and eat food and stuff and it would affect your stats.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I enjoy, but for him that was just too much for him. He's like, it makes me feel like I'm playing The Sims or something, having to take care of someone or manage these things that
I could see that.
Yeah.
But Kingdom Hearts doesn't have any slice of life elements.
Yeah. Exactly. That's why he likes it.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I think the slice of life stuff in Kingdom Hearts annoyed him. That's the only thing he didn't like.
No, I said that's where you're like, how did he get into Kingdom Hearts? I'm like, well, it's because it doesn't have the stuff that he doesn't enjoy. Like, he doesn't like playing
Sorry.
he doesn't like playing Skyrim and stuff because there's so much. You can play for hours and a lot of RPGs like The Witcher or Skyrim and stuff and not really have anything like exciting happen. You know?
Yeah.
You can just have a lot of really deep role playing, like not really in Skyrim because Skyrim barely has role playing, but like in The Witcher or KOTOR or Dragon Age, there's just large stretches of the game where like not a lot of combat or something happens, but there's just a lot of like talking to people.
Yeah. I could see that.
And and for me, that's some of my favorite stuff about games.
It is really fun, but I have this thing with games where it has to be a specific game to keep me coming back, and coming back. Like, Fallout New Vegas, I can take that game in doses. It can feel kind of repetitive to me, and I think that's kind of because of the way the game was made. They probably had to reuse a lot of assets and things.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels a bit bland to go through the world sometimes.
Yeah.
But, like playing Breath of the Wild, I logged about 120 hours in on that game, and I didn't get bored. Oh, or Persona 5, I never got bored once the whole time. Like, it kind of slogged at the end, but I felt engrossed the whole time, and I think I was just more receptive to that art style and that type of game, where it kind of hooks you in one way or the other. Like, Breath of the Wild, you kept constantly exploring. Even if I revisited an area, I'd go into some like nook or cranny where I found something new, so it wasn't bland.
Yeah. And I think that's also something important about a game is the visual appeal.
Yeah.
Like, there's certain games, like, I'm kind of hypocritical because I'm like, graphics don't matter and you should be able to enjoy a game no matter how it looks. But then there is just, sometimes I'll see a game and I'm just like, I can't look at it. It doesn't look right to me. I don't like the way it looks.
Yeah.
And,
well, that's a different, because there's a
yeah, I mean, yeah, there's graphics. Like, I can play an old game, you know.
And there's the graphics that's just ugly and bad.
Yeah.
I don't usually edit, but I'll do it that time.
Music and band. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Yeah, but I wasn't saying that there's specific graphical styles that bother me. That's what I was trying to say. It's not that just because a game's old and looks like it came out during the PlayStation 2 era. That can also be a graphical style, though. I've seen games doing that.
Yeah, and I think that's just kind of nostalgic, and I don't think that's a bad thing. But there's just been some really bad-looking games that have come out. I didn't think... I mean, it has to have some sort of appeal to it. I thought the old Spyro games, they weren't graphically intensive, but I like to look at them. But, say, I don't know, or the art direction, like Disney Infinity, I didn't enjoy looking at that for long periods of time.
Yeah.
I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't like the way everything was set up.
Yeah, like... and I think that's understandable.
Yeah. But I don't think that's a game that I don't think is objectively bad. I think it's personal taste in that case.
Well, yeah, of course. That's why I think that it matters, is because someone's favorite game of all time can have a completely different graphic style than someone else's favorite game of all time. Like, you can't put, even though they're both like more realistic style games, you can't put Red Dead Redemption 2 and The Witcher 3 in the same, because there is differences in the graphics. There's different in the style. Yeah. Even though they both go for a realistic look, there's just a different style to each of them. And that's one thing. There is this realistic style, but then there's also these liberties taken, I guess.
Yeah.
Whenever they do make things look realistic or whatever.
Like Oblivion.
Yeah! Well, I think they actually were trying to kind of go for a realistic look at the time.
Yeah.
It's just that everyone kind of had weird baby faces.
I can't look at Oblivion. I'm sorry. It doesn't even feel like nice to look at. I can't look at Oblivion. I think the weapons and armors are okay. I see them as aged, but anytime I see an NPC or a character, I'm just... Oh, I want to puke a little.
Yeah, Oblivion does have a weird graphical style. Like, and it changes in the Fallout games, even though they're built with the same engine.
Yeah, and even Skyrim.
Well, Skyrim wasn't built with the same engine. It's an upgraded version.
Yeah,
but,
like, I guess all their games have
different.
technically been built with.
Yeah, but it's different. You
Yeah.
know? Or I guess they could make it look the same. I guess they just really went in a different art direction.
Yeah, it's the art direction, not really
Yeah.
the engine.
Yeah. But that's what I was saying. Like, the art direction in Fallout New Vegas, even though it's built on the same engine,
Yeah.
and it looks similar, of course, but it's different, you know?
Well, yeah, but, like, if I go to a Fallout game compared to Oblivion, I'm not going to puke when I see a character. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
I was agreeing.
Okay, I'm sorry. I understood that, and I try to agree with you, but I phrased it like I was disagreeing with you. So, sorry about that.
Yeah, but what I was going to say about the types of games as well, like, people, I started to say it, but then we kind of got into graphics, but, like I was saying, like, there's so many different, wide variety of games, there's a wide variety of games, and I think that's kind of something that's not really in a lot of other forms of entertainment. Like, there is different genres of movies and stuff, but there's so much, like, if someone likes movies, then they're usually like, they're not like, I only watch comedy movies.
Yeah.
Like, with a gamer, they can be like, yeah, I don't really play platformers, and like, you know, then there can be games that kind of cross that line, you know, like there's action and adventure games that can be considered platformers in some aspects because, you know, you are climbing around and platforming and stuff, but there's specific style to that as well.
Yeah.
Like for me, like Crash Bandicoot or something, or most of like the newer Mario Brothers games and stuff, like a lot of those don't really appeal to me.
Oh.
Because I'm not a big fan of platformers, even like side-scrolling platformers and stuff. Like, I'm not a big platformer fan. And but then I also, one of my favorite game franchises of all time is Uncharted, and in some ways people call that a game of platformer.
I wouldn't consider it a hardcore platformer.
Well, of course it's not a hardcore platformer, but there's platforming elements.
Well, it's like the RPG thing. I wouldn't...
Yeah. But like, I've heard people like use that argument.
I could see it, but Uncharted has kind of something I like to call like scripted parkour. It's not like anything you do on the fly. The main game mechanics aren't built around it, like climbing up walls and stuff. It's all in very certain segments.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the kind of argument I'd make against a game like that.
Well, that's the same way with Crash Bandicoot or Super Mario Brothers.
No.
Yeah, because they set everything up just like they would in an Uncharted game.
Well, yeah, but you don't have the level of control in Uncharted during those parts.
I mean, yeah. Well, it's just different styles and different control.
But imagine how boring it would be to play an Uncharted game where the whole thing was just platforming.
Well, yeah. But even in Crash Bandicoot and Mario Brothers, that's not the only thing you do. You have to do
in Mario, but in Crash, that's pretty much the only thing. At least the first Crash.
Yeah, well, in Crash Bandicoot and in Mario, they're similar types of games. There's, you know, you have to deal with enemies and stuff in the environments and stuff, and you have to go and solve mild puzzles a lot of the times. You have to, you know, it's a platformer.
Yeah, but I still don't consider Uncharted a platform. It has been a while since I played it, so maybe I just sound really stupid. I wouldn't call it a platformer.
No, I'm just saying... I don't think you're understanding the point I'm trying to make.
What?
Is I'm saying that I'm not a fan of platformers, okay?
Okay. But you like platform elements?
Yeah, like there's Uncharted, and yes, there is platforming in the game.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's what I was trying to say, but I'm not a fan of...
You wouldn't want that all the time.
Yeah, like, or not, at least not the style of platformer that Mario and Crash Bandicoot is.
I gotcha.
Like an Uncharted, even Assassin's Creed, in some levels, you could call it a platformer.
I could see Assassin's Creed a platformer. Yeah. I could.
But Uncharted has a lot of the same elements as an Assassin's Creed game.
Okay, like I said, it's been a hot minute since I played an Uncharted game. I started I kept disagreeing with you because I wasn't really focusing on what you were saying, because I kept trying to think about Uncharted and like, is there platforming in it? How much do you really platform?
Like, at least a good 60% of the game is just climbing around and jumping.
Seriously?
Yeah. Especially in the fourth one.
Really?
And the third one. And the second one. The first one's the most action-focused one.
Okay. I remember the first one the most vividly. I kind of remember the second one. Was that the one where he's in the train?
I think no, that's the third one.
Okay. What happened to the second one?
I don't remember how it starts. I think the second one you find a city.
No, that's the first one.
No, I think you find a city in the second one too.
Oh, okay.
No, the first one you just find a crate.
Oh yeah, so the second one is the city one.
Yeah.
Okay. See, guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I sounded really stupid. I get like that sometimes.
Yeah, I was trying to say what you like, and you were like, no, it's not a platformer. And I'm like, no, there is platforming in the game.
I wasn't thinking. I was thinking all the shooting times, and I was
you're like, there's no platforming.
I probably made a few people click off just because of how incompetent I sounded.
Yeah, but then also, but like I was saying, I forget what point I was trying to make, just because I was trying to tell you that Uncharted had platforming in it.
A person can like elements of a genre, but not like the genre itself.
Yeah. Or like someone might not like Gears of War, but then they'll play Grand Theft Auto, even though both of them had third-person shooting mechanics.
And Aliens.
Yeah, and Aliens.
Yeah. I can see that. Or how someone will like Batman. I don't know what analogy I was going to draw there. Forget that.
All right. Yeah.
I was going to say Batman or Assassin's Creed, and I was like, that doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, kinda.
Kind of, but they're
both
not...
of them are open world, sandbox type of games.
I'm talking about Batman, Dark Tomorrow.
Oh! Well, it's even more so.
I just think you can only call both of them one thing. Good.
If people are listening, they don't know what Batman Dark Tomorrow is, just watch a little video.
It's this amazing game where to actually kill an enemy, you have to handcuff them or else they'll keep getting back up. And if you've ever heard of bad fixed camera angles, take that and crank it up to 5,000 and you have Batman Dark Tomorrow.
Yeah, that game really was something special.
I tried to beat it just because I wanted it. I thought it was funny.
I remember you were telling me about Batman Dark Tomorrow, and you seemed when you first got it, you were genuinely excited about it. You were like, dude, I heard this game's story was really good.
I got it for $5 at a flea market. I don't know what I was talking about.
Because I remember you were telling me you were like, that was back whenever you were, I think that was back when you were watching the animated series of Batman.
Maybe.
And you were all like really into that. And you were all like, all right, dude, I got this game. I'm like so hyped for it, dude. I'm so excited.
I just want to let people know. I was probably around 13 when this was I got that game.
Yeah.
So I was really stupid about until...
man, CJ was so stupid until he was probably 15.
Yeah.
It was bad, guys. Like, I don't know. Like, I think there's just this thing that clicked, and he was like, wait, I'm an idiot. No, he wasn't stupid, but he was an idiet.
I think I still have Dark Tomorrow. We could do a let's play.
I don't want to.
You don't want to?
I'm not about that life.
I remember there was a boss I just couldn't beat because I couldn't see him.
There's so many bad games. But I remember I was gonna say something. Yeah, but talking about the genres of games and stuff. And I was gonna expand on the point that there is so many different genres of games, and I really think it's crazy how there can be two games that share the same genre, such as excuse me, like Fallout New Vegas and The Witcher 3 and KOTOR.
Yeah.
All of them are considered RPGs, but then they are all play completely different. They all have different mechanics.
Even if they focus on choice and consequence, or
Yeah, like
well, maybe not Skyrim, but
yeah, but all three I said Fallout New Vegas, The Witcher 3, and KOTOR.
I thought Skyrim was in there somewhere.
I think I might have started to say Skyrim and I was like, no.
Oh, okay. I think I always just lump Skyrim with Fallout, so
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think it's really crazy how you can say in movies there's and I guess The Witcher 3 can be considered an action RPG, and so could Fallout, but then so could KOTOR, but then all of them have different ways of handling that action.
Yeah.
And it's and you can say Fallout New Vegas and The Witcher 3 are open world, but then even they have different ways of doing things in the open world.
That's true.
And I think that's really cool that there's something special about video games is that there's so many different ways to do things, and what someone else enjoys about this game, the other game could have that same thing, but it's done in a way that's not enjoyable to them.
Yeah.
Like for me, I don't really like the way the open world is handled in Horizon Zero Dawn. It feels like if I played it a couple of years ago, I would have probably been like, man, this is really good. But a lot of it just feels like, I know I'm going to probably get some, like, people aren't going to like me if this gets any type of views.
Yeah.
But Horizon Zero Dawn is just not something that really clicked with me.
Oh.
And that's something that a lot of people enjoy. But for me, a lot of those, open world action games are really a hit or miss for me.
Gotcha. But you liked Final Fantasy 15, right?
No. I played that for like 10 hours. And, dude, at the 3-hour mark, I was like, I don't like this game.
Why'd you do the extra 7?
Because it's a Japanese game, man. And sometimes they get good.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 15 was not one of those. I beat it because I was high. I was still in the, oh yeah, stage. And then about halfway through, I realized how bad it was. But I was like, I guess I should just finish it. I'm almost there.
I remember back whenever you were going through that, you kept telling me stuff about like what Final Fantasy 15 could have been.
Yeah.
And you were all like, but it's not. But what if it was, dude? That'd be so cool.
It looked so cool. The director is having some he's having some problems, dude. The original director for that game, he's losing it. He wants to be back. He wants that game back. In Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, he created, like, scene for scene, the second the 2011 trailer of Versus 13, but with this new character he made called Yozora, which looks exactly like Noctis. And he does the exact same mannerisms, he's in the exact same car as Noctis, in the exact same city. Well, it looks like it, and he has a driver who looks exactly the same.
Really?
Yeah, and the dialogue's also almost similar too.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, he's like trying to remake the game he wanted to make, but into Kingdom Hearts, since they won't grant him a new project.
But what if it turns out really good?
I don't know, it might. I'm confused how they're gonna do it, because apparently the original was supposed to be gory with a lot, like, some blood. So,
well, what if the Kingdom Hearts just takes a turn, man?
I mean, if Disney
They're
wasn't...
like, we've been a franchise for like almost 20 years. I mean, most of our fans are around that age now.
Yeah, if Disney wasn't involved, I'd believe it.
Yeah.
Like, but no, he wants the game back. The character keeps talking about how he's been changed beyond recognition, which is obviously a jab at...
Man, I was gonna say something, but I forget what I was gonna say. I think, dang it, man, it's gone. It's gone.
I see it. It's over there, man. Go pick it up.
But, okay. You want to, like, really go into specifics on what things that we find, like,
Appealing?
makes a game appealing or enjoyable to us?
I think we should. I think that's a great idea. I think you should start, or I should start.
Do you have a preference?
I don't.
Well, I don't either. So I guess we're just going to sit here in silence.
And now I just sit. Okay.
You can't do that because then we get in trouble on YouTube.
I know that's why I didn't finish it.
And now
So
we
I just sit, and now I just sit in.
Yeah.
Like in
Silence.
protest. I just sit in.
We sit in silence and protest.
Oh yeah, I was referencing like sit-ins.
Oh.
You know, the protest.
Yeah.
review.
I got it. I'm not done. Okay. So for me, I think the first thing that I find enjoyable about a game is definitely story. If a game doesn't have a story to push me through it, then I don't find it appealing.
Yeah, it's almost like there's no reason to keep on going.
Yeah, I need something like some sort of narrative to push me along, to give me a reason to be there doing what I'm doing.
And that's obviously not for everyone. Me and Austin kind of agree on this. I think me a little less, but you know, games with how super strong narratives do very well. You have Mario. You have what?
I don't think Mario probably has some of the weakest narrative, because it's usually like at the beginning of the game there's story, and then at the end of the game there's story.
You said it has to have a good story though.
Yeah, but like I was saying, there has to be like a story going throughout the game.
But I wouldn't say Mario's story is what keeps me playing the game.
Exactly, and that could be possibly why I don't like a lot of platformers, because a lot of platformers.
I was agreeing with you. I was just saying it.
What?
I was expanding your point. I was saying we're not saying like games without really good stories can do well. That's what I was saying. Like
Okay, yeah, I thought you were saying that Mario has really
No!
good narrative.
No.
I was like, whoa, buddy, hold up.
I'm gonna have to reevaluate a lot of the things you've said. No, I was just saying like games like Mario and even Dark Souls, where there's not too much of a narrative. There is one, but it's in the background. Takes a back seat, or just fun little games like Disney Infinity can do well because there's an audience for that, and that's just not us.
Yeah.
Most of the time. More Austin. I'll get into that one. It's my turn.
Yeah, like I was about to say, I've tried to play a lot of games that aren't narratively focused, but I either end up dropping them after a while, or I just don't enjoy my time with them because I don't have a reason to be doing anything. And now it's different if I'm like playing like a fighter or a racing game or something, you know.
Or a sandbox.
Even a sandbox game, I need a reason for me to be.
Why do you play Minecraft?
It's different. It's a survival game. That's different than just a sandbox game.
Okay, you're right. Sandbox survival.
Yeah.
Sorry.
If it's just straight up sandbox and you just do whatever you want, I might play it for a little bit, but then I'm like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
But like I was about to say, games like Dark Souls or recently The Surge, they're the types of games that don't really have a whole lot of story, and you just kind of are told it either like little tiny snippets to where you don't really know what's going on, or there's just large sections of the game where no story is being told.
Yeah.
Or you just have to dig for it, and that's also a thing that I don't really enjoy. But I usually, like I said, put those types of games down in a very short amount of time. But something like Red Dead Redemption 2 that has a very big overarching narrative, the entire time I was engrossed because I just wanted to see what happened next.
Yeah.
And that's usually what drives me in a game. I'm like, what happens next? You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's why RPGs appeal to me so much, because I can play it 3 times, but then I still get that feeling because I made different decisions. What happens next?
Yeah.
And the what happens next aspect of games, I think, is my most enjoyable thing about them.
You know, the what happens next aspect can be good or bad in RPGs. Can be like, what happens next? Oh, the same thing.
Yeah. But then I also, that appeal is still there for me.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of the times. If it's a good RPG, anyways.
Is that all you find appealing?
In video games?
Yeah.
No, I thought you were going to talk about narrative aspects.
Oh,
from
you'll
your
need it.
point of view.
Oh, okay, so we're switching off like that.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to do a rundown of yours then.
Nah.
Okay.
Like, because I just had this thought, and I need some time to collect some new ones.
Okay, I'll go ahead and voice my narrative opinions on video games. And to be honest, they're not too well formed. I'm not too into games like Dark Souls, but I've started thinking about all my time with Dark Souls 3. I keep thinking back to, like, that game was kind of cool. I kind of want to go back and play that and play the first one or two. Because the aesthetic style they have, and now that I'm not so focused on trying to rush through a game, I think I can kind of sit back and appreciate sifting through the finer details a bit more now. So I think I could get invested into a game like Dark Souls. I haven't played one since I put it down about a couple years ago. But I feel like I could get into those. And then I also do like some platformers like Mario Odyssey. I don't religiously play them, but I think they're fun to pick up and put down. You know, I guess for narrative games, it does have to have something like Breath of the Wild. I prefer narrative games over non-narrative games. I won't say that. I will say that. I prefer to have an overarching story. Even, I guess I could even say Dark Souls has something to keep me going in each one. There's an end goal, whether it's apparent or not. Neo kind of kept me a bit more engrossed because it had more of a streamlined story. Mm-hmm. But like Breath of the Wild, I wouldn't call its story spectacular, but I knew what I was supposed to do. It was a very plain and obvious story. But it was so fun going through. And then games like Kingdom Hearts, I love, I think those are my favorite types of games, just ones with very hardcore narratives. Kingdom Hearts, that's what pushes the entire game. Persona 5, even if there's not choice and consequence, I really like a deep story.
Yeah. One thing for me is, like, I really need a why whenever I'm playing a game.
Yeah.
Like, if I was playing Red Dead Redemption 2 and there was a story, but then there wasn't any reason for me to be doing what I was doing in the story.
Yeah.
You know, like, the narrative in Red Dead Redemption 2 is that you're an outlaw and you're trying to get away from the law and make money so you can go to a place where, you know, you can just live with your money. And,
live off the fat of the land.
You know, like, you're trying to reach an end goal to, like, live a good life.
Yeah, you got my reference, right?
Yeah, I got you, buddy.
Okay.
But if there wasn't any why and you were just an outlaw to be an outlaw, then I think it would lose its appeal.
Yeah, it would. But it would also have some kind of new appeal for other players then.
Yeah.
Kind of like Red Dead Online, I guess.
Yeah, like, because there's no reason for you to be doing what you're doing, you're just doing it. And that's why I think GTA 5 or Red Dead Online, like, those things didn't ever really appeal to me. Mm-hmm. Because there's no reason. A lot of online games, I'm like, I can play it with my friends for a little bit, but...
Yeah, I think a little more pointless games are kind of more fun to play with friends.
Oh, yeah, like, I like to play Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
With some friends. That's one of my favorite games to play with friends. Just because you can just get into... It's just fun. Like, there's so much stuff that just happens.
Yeah, I heard the only, like, mob in the games of those, like, a skeleton.
Yeah, it has appeal to it, though. It's not like the only monster is skeleton. There is skeleton variety and stuff. But, yeah, the main thing you fight is skeletons. There's snakes, too. But they just sit in one spot.
Yeah, I heard there's krakens, but they're really easy to take down and they have no body.
Krakens?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a shark that's really hard. Scary. Dude, I don't care. The Kraken and the shark are scary.
There's one cracky... Cracky, that's a cute way to say it. In Wind Waker, I remember there's one Kraken, but once you kill it, it's like, nah, just kidding, I'm a fairy, and then it gives you a power.
Oh, that'd be weird.
It was weird. I wasn't expecting it.
I also don't like the way you moved.
No,
No, you went, oh, just kidding, I'm a fairy. You went and did like a slither with your body and stuff.
Slither into those arm opens.
Yeah, but for a narrative, there needs to be a why. That's my main thing with a narrative. There needs to be a why for there to be doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I guess there needs to be some sort of relationship, I guess, or some sort of stakes in a narrative.
I guess so. Like...
And most narratives have some sort of stakes, you know?
Yeah. Spyro, I mean, almost every narrative has some sort of stake, big or small. Like, even a game like Spyro, the dragons will be captured if you are staying frozen. What's another game? I talk about Spyro a lot. I haven't even played the game that much. But
I think you really want to, deep down.
Like, I don't know, Sonic Unleashed, the Earth literally being... Okay, that's a pretty grand scale narrative.
The Earth was literally blown apart.
Yeah. There's a giant being at the center of the Earth holding it slightly together but trying to break free.
Yeah.
It's
odd.
Yeah. It's funny looking at the directions Mario and Sonic took.
Yeah.
Like, Mario's like, okay, I'm going to be a fun, whimsical game people can hop into, and Sonic's like, no. We're going to be a serious game, guys.
We need to be serious with our narratives.
We need to have Shadow actually pick up a gun.
Well, they got kind of goofy with the newer stuff.
Did they?
Yeah, that's what I heard anyways.
Yeah, I heard it's also awful, though, Sonic Forces.
Oh, yeah. Like, I don't think it's good. But, you know. And now there's the Sonic racing game. I forget what it's called.
Sonic Racing.
That's what it is?
I think it's Sonic Team Racing, but
Yeah. I remember.
It's
We rented that for a day, didn't we?
Yeah, it was kind of fun.
Yeah, it's just a Mario Kart clone. But...
Yeah, it was a good Mario Kart clone.
Yeah. But why does Sonic need a car?
So he could, I don't know. I remember.
Remember in Sonic X, there was
like,
the guy.
I hate cars.
Yeah, there was the guy that was always like, yeah, I got some new upgrades to my vehicle that I'm surely gonna make you lose this time.
It would happen every so often.
Yeah, and then Sonic would be like, all right, and then the guy would start driving, and then Sonic would just be like, and then beat him, and then he'd be like, Sonic, I hate you.
Wasn't he also was he a cop too?
He might have been.
I can't remember if he was a cop or if he was just a racer.
I think he might have just been a racer.
Maybe. But
That'd be a weird character thing if he was a cop.
I thought there were like times when he wanted to arrest Sonic or something though.
Maybe. Or like maybe he was all like, I'm so fast now I'll be able to catch you and arrest you.
Yeah.
Because I think he might have been a vigilante. Sonic, right?
He might have. I don't know. There was but then he also worked with the government. No, I think he might. Sonic X got really weird, man. It got deep in some parts. So there'd be parts where Sonic's like out in the desert and he's like, what's my purpose?
Why are we here?
And then
just to suffer.
It's kind of like One Punch Man where you're waiting for Saitama. That's what all the fights were in Sonic X. Where's Sonic? He's doing something in the desert. I don't know
what he's doing. And then he'd just come up and go like, ding, 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 kill the guy or whatever, and then he'd be like, I have to find out who I am.
Yeah, and then Eggman would have that thing with the cards where he's like, I'll find a new robot. And then he like puts in the cards. And then some robot combination, like he had like the legs, the body, and the head.
Dude, Sonic X was amazing.
And then they had Rouge of the Bat.
Oh yeah.
Fine.
She thick, bro.
Okay, anyway, so we... anyway, I while we went on that little tangent about Sonic X, I think I've more clearly been able to define my picks on story. I think games that don't have a strong narrative focus like Mario Odyssey, because I still enjoy that game, I think makes up for it in other elements. So if a game has enough other redeeming qualities of it, which we'll go to here in a second, I'll let Austin express some of his other feelings about games, not just in general.
Man, I've been kind of sad.
But I think if it makes up for it in other areas, then the narrative's not as big of a deal to me, but my favorite games will always be the narrative-focused ones.
Yeah.
That's just what I find the most appealing in a game, but I do also have fun with other games that don't always have to focus on a story.
Yeah. Excuse me, princess. Yeah.
There was this one scene in it where Link was like, Zelda was putting on a...
Okay, wait. Before you move on, we have to explain, we're talking about the Legend of Zelda animated series.
Yeah, the good one. The only good Zelda thing ever.
Because you just started going in, there's this scene, and some people might have not got my reference. Okay, so...
No, man, I'm talking about Breath of the Wild. No. But there is this scene in it where she's going outside and she has her nightgown on, and then she's, like, walking out, and then Link's in the balcony above her, and he walks out and he's like, "Whoa, princess, you're looking good!" And she's like, "Link!" And she's like, "You nasty piece of crap, I don't..."
You nasty boy!
I hope Zelda doesn't sound like that.
Yeah, princess, I can look down your nightgown from up here.
And then this fairy came in and brought her a robe. It was weird. There was the fairy who had a crush on Link?
Yeah, there wasn't there?
Yeah.
What, was that Navi?
No. It was just a fairy. This was before Ocarina of Time even came out.
Oh, so there was just a fairy.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I remember there was this one time when she was like, "Link is sick, so I've got to go bring him oranges to make him feel better." And, like, she brought it to him, but he was only playing sick, so he didn't have to do spring cleaning around the castle.
I remember that. I remember that. Why did she want to bring him oranges?
She could heal her up. But, like, she took some kind of fairy drug or something. I don't know. I think some evil person, like, was like, "I can make you faster and better." And she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna help Link." And then they did it. And now she's, like, super fast. Her magic's out of control. And
she cannot be stopped. She's still terrorizing.
no, she's like doing things all over the castle and stuff. And then she goes up to the lady with the oranges, and then the lady with the oranges, she takes the orange, and then the lady's like, because she did it so fast. She's like, "Yeah, I'll take an orange, thanks." She goes off and she goes.
Oh my god!
When she gets there, Link is like in his. I always thought it was weird, like, because Link only wore his shirt, and I never saw that before, and he had no pants on. But anyway, he was sitting there, and he's like, "Take that!" And he had his pillow up as a shield, and he's hitting things with his sword, like, just, well, Link had this, like, really short sword. It was like a dagger, and it shot beams out in the series. It was really stupid, but he did it. The entire series was stupid, but it's hilarious. And then he was, like, shooting, and then she comes in, she's like, "No, Link!" And she gets really upset, but then at the end, like, I forget what happens. Like, Zelda was like...
I think she comes back, and then she's like, "Oh, so you were only playing sick. It looks like you have to clean up all this mess."
Yeah, that is what happens.
And then he's all like, "Aw, no, princess."
And she's like, "This is what you get for skipping out on your chores."
And then doesn't he actually get sick? Like, he's all like...
He's like, she didn't make a... I think that was the thing. I don't think the fairy made a deal with anyone. I think she was just magically, like, she had some kind of illness, and then it passed on to Link.
Yeah, she was sick, and then she was, like, sneezing and stuff, and causing, like, little beams to come out.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, and then, I don't know why they didn't have servants or anything, clean the castle for them.
Yeah. Well, maybe it was just because, like, this was solely on Link.
This was solely on Link. I remember there was some scene episode where he's like, "I remember when I used to be an adventurer, sleeping in the mud, walking on my bare feet. Oh, I miss those days." I don't know what the heck he's talking about. Anyway, There's a synopsis for one episode of The Legend of Zelda, just one summary.
Yeah, it's a really good show.
Anyway, that's what I would constitute as a good story.
If your narrative doesn't have at least one sick fairy, you're probably not.
Yeah, in either way, like, in any sense of the word, if they're literally sick or if they're just sick, bro. Like,
Yeah, it'd have to be like a sick fairy. Man, I don't even know what I was gonna say, dude. I don't know where I was gonna go, what was gonna happen. Man.
We need to do an entire podcast just talking about that cartoon because it was so amazing.
Okay, I guess I can move on to like mechanics
Yeah.
I enjoy in games, and I think this is like the most interesting thing because I'm interested in several different types of genres,
Yeah.
and for me, I think gameplay isn't as big of a thing for me as narrative is.
Really?
Because something like Knights of the Old Republic, the gameplay itself isn't that amazing.
What are you talking about?
Neither is Fallout New Vegas, Dragon Age Origins, Skyrim, you know? Like,
Yeah.
all those games, like, the gameplay aspect isn't really, like a big part of it. It's not something that you can... It's clearly not something that they put a lot of focus and,
The
like...
Witcher 3.
Yeah, Witcher 3, like, it's not, like, the combat and stuff in it, or, like, just the gameplay itself isn't, like...
Yeah, Witcher 3's combat definitely has more focus put into it than, like, Skyrim or something. But...
Yeah, Skyrim is literally just hit.
Yeah.
Or, like, but then, like, KOTOR, it's not like you're actively, participating in the combat. You're, like, activating combat, and then you're, like, choosing actions to do and stuff.
And KOTOR is kind of a weird combat system because it's like a cross between real-time and turn-based.
It's behind the scenes turn-based.
Yeah.
A lot of those older games are, where, like, you just activate combat, but then it's like you just activate abilities and stuff. Dragon Age Origins is the same way. It's behind the scenes turn-based because it's basically the D&D combat system.
Yeah.
And but all of it's D20 based, and that's not really what the D&D combat system's about, but it's there's a lot of, like, just random rolls and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like there is whenever you're in combat, it's just between, like, the two people that are in combat, or the three people, and everyone's taking turns, but it's all behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And it's going fast. So, like, that's why in KOTOR you'll activate an ability, but then it will take, like, a second or two before you actually do it, because it wasn't your turn in combat.
Oh, I never even noticed that.
Yeah. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but, like, combat and gameplay for me is probably, unless it's a game that's one of its focuses, you know.
Yeah, like if you're playing
If it, like I listed RPGs and stuff, and RPGs, the main focus of those games isn't the combat. But if I'm playing, I don't know, like a Devil May Cry or something,
yeah.
and there isn't, like,
Solid combat.
and that's, like, what the main pillar of the game is the, like, going from arena to arena and fighting people, or Doom, or, like, you know, it has to have good first person shooting mechanics, you know, like,
Yeah.
a first person shooter, I think the only exceptions I've ever made for first person shooters, like, not being, like, good is probably Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
Because, especially on consoles anyways, because it's just not, like, fluid, you know, it's not like playing Doom.
Definitely
or
not.
Like a good Call of Duty game.
Yeah.
But if that's, like, one of the main pillars of the game is the combat, then I expect it to be well done.
Yeah.
So I'm not just bored out of my mind. But KOTOR, Witcher 3, or Fallout, like, Witcher 3, I guess, has more of a heavy focused on combat, and the combat is enjoyable, and a lot of the abilities you get and stuff is focused towards combat.
Yeah, that's very subjective, though. I've seen many people who hate The Witcher 3 combat, like, with a passion.
Oh, yeah, I think it's just because they're stupid.
You don't
Their
think
opinion's wrong.
You don't think it's, like a matter of taste?
No. They're just objectively wrong.
Oh, okay.
It has, like this has nothing to do with our conversation. You know, like how we're talking about how there's differing opinions and stuff and what people find enjoyable in games. But if you don't like The Witcher 3's combat system, you're just objectively wrong.
I've seen some people actually compare it to Skyrim and say, no, this is better. This is worse.
Skyrim? That, like, it has a parry system, a magic system, and all that? The Witcher 3? They compare that to Skyrim?
Yeah, they say the Skyrim's better. Like, neither of them are that good, but they like Skyrim's more.
But The Witcher 3 has... The Witcher 3 has, like... I'm not even going to think about that. No, but I think I think a lot of people, they don't like The Witcher 3's combat because they don't care to learn it. Because it is a little bit deeper than a lot of people give it credit for.
Yeah, it's not super intuitive or anything, but it works. I never dreaded going into combat because of how much I hated it.
Oh, yeah, I've played games. I can't think of an example, but I've played games where I'm just like, oh, a combat encounter.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my god. You know, because I just hate the combat in certain games.
Yeah. There are some times when it makes you fight too much, like Yakuza. Yakuza, is that weird? But in Yakuza, there'll be random encounters where people just come up and start beating you. But like it happens so often, I just end up running away from the encounters because it's like, no, I fought someone like 15 seconds ago.
Yeah, and that can be something like something being too focused on certain things.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say about gameplay and stuff, in combat especially, is like I said, that most of the time it's not a big part of the game for me. It's not gonna make or break the game. And like I said, it depends on the type of game though. If it's like a fighter, you know, I expect the fighting to be competent.
You're playing Soul Calibur or...
Yeah, if I'm playing Fighters or Soul Calibur or Tekken or Street Fighter, I expect to be like, okay, there's mechanics in this game that aren't just punch and kick.
Yeah.
And, or even other, like, 3D fighters, like Devil May Cry or Nier Automata. You know, like, I expect them to be deeper than that.
Yeah.
And have combos and moves and stuff that you can execute. And, probably have some sort of gimmick or something, because most 3D fighters do. 3D fighter beat-em-ups, like...
Yeah.
Have some sort of gimmick to make you be like, oh, this one's different than the others.
What would you say... What would you say Nier Automata's is?
Either that you have a companion with you, or you got that little robot that shoots the gun.
Yeah, I guess.
Devil May Cry 5's was the robot arm, or the other characters. They're like, you see, there's different ways you can play the game because the different characters have different fighting styles.
Kingdom Hearts is always switching up gimmicks.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 3 has like 4 different gimmicks. They just stopped even using... They used to integrate it into this...
Integrate?
Integrate. Not integrate. Integrate into the story. No, they just stopped doing that, which is kind of annoying because Sora, at the beginning of these new games, he just does things.
He just does stuff?
He just does stuff. Anyway, sorry, it's your turn. You go.
No, I think that's pretty much all I was going to say, is like... yeah, it kind of depends on context whether combat is a big thing for me, but most of the time it's...
Yeah. And sometimes even if a game doesn't have combat, you have to make your own combat. Like, me and my sister were playing Just Dance.
And you just dropped it.
I started getting these combos, and I wasn't having any of that.
She started to get a little bit ahead of me in the points, so I just dropped her right then and there.
I kind of agree with Austin for the most part. the kind of combats I enjoy, personally, I only enjoy a very specific amount of turn-based games. If your story is good enough, I will sit through a turn-based game, but like Persona 5 I think is the only turn-based game where I've actually come around to enjoying the combat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for like a standard lineup turn-based game, I really like tactical turn-based games, but that's just personal opinion. There's plenty of people who love Final Fantasy's version of it. And
Oh, that's something I really do enjoy. Is a lot of turn-based games. I found that out. Like,
yeah,
I do like a lot of turn-based games when I do play them.
and like I love Final Fantasy for the stories, so I'm probably going to go through and play Final Fantasy games anyway, and I might enjoy the combat, but I just find it to be a bit too grindy sometimes. I'm not a very technical person, so even in games like Kingdom Hearts 3 or something when I'll play critical, I don't always find what abilities will be best. I just kind of stick to the same build, and I'll end up winning because I just learned the enemy's move pattern or what my personal moves work best for it. I just don't find it fun to sit in a menu the whole time. That's not my personal
Yeah.
type of thing I enjoy. And the grinding, I don't like grinding either, so I think that's my thing with turn-based games, but who knows? I bought Final Fantasy 8 and 13, so I'll try to get into those and see what I feel about it, but that's just kind of I like a more hands-on approach to things. Yeah, like Austin said, gameplay is subjective to the game, but if you're like a shooter, like he said, I expect you to be a competent shooter.
Yeah. That's basically what I was getting at. Is like, if the game needs, like, for me to enjoy it anyways.
Yeah.
It needs to be competent at what its main pillars of gameplay are.
Unless you have other redeeming qualities, like Austin was saying about Bethesda games. They're also an exploration game and an adventure game and a big RPG. So it doesn't always need to be around the combat.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you have a game where your story is strong enough to support a flawed combat system, sometimes I'll even do it just because I enjoy the story. And and then people say, like, well, why don't you just watch the cutscenes or see a Let's Play? And I think an added part to a game with characters is that I like to see the characters interact, and I feel more attached to them when I play as them throughout levels.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll get into Final Fantasy, but I can overlook things at the story, the soundtrack, and the characters support it enough.
Yeah.
Which is kind of odd because they're games, so most people, like, from the outside would think gameplay is what you should want the most, but sometimes you don't always need the strongest gameplay to support a narrative or...
Oh, yeah. And I think that we differ from a lot of people, because I think a lot of people's top thing is gameplay.
Yeah.
Look at the popularity of, like, what games are most popular. It's like Fortnite, Apex Legends, you know?
Yeah.
Like, both of those are just online battle royale
Which
games.
we would play sometimes, too. Because...
Yeah. Just because we just enjoy the gameplay itself. Yeah. But it wasn't something that I could get attached to and play for long periods of time, where, like, there's literally people that all they've played for the last 3 years is Fortnite, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I can't, like... But all they care about is the gameplay. All they care about is getting better at the game.
Yeah. This is a side note. But so you know how Palpatine sent a message out in Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah?
Well, you know the collaboration Disney had with Fortnite?
Yeah?
Palpatine's actual message that he sent out was only viewable during a Fortnite event. Because Palpatine actually sent the message out to the Fortnite world, too, and you get to hear what the actual dialogue was.
Really?
Yeah. It's kind of weird collaboration. Continue.
Yeah, but it's really strange that crap, I can't even think.
You're talking about how people, like, religiously play Fortnite.
Oh yeah, like I think it's strange how people can be so into just certain aspects of games. Like I've never found the appeal of a game that just has straight up gameplay without the story to follow and stuff, like I was saying before. And I think it's interesting that there's so many people that have these pillars that they find most important in a game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, most people, like I said, I think gameplay is at the very top.
And other things can't compensate for it. A good story doesn't matter.
Yeah, like, if I'm not having the, like, high octane,
Yeah.
you know, like, lots of fun while I'm playing, then I'm just not going to play.
And that stands to reason. I can see that. It
Yeah.
is a game after all. It's not a movie. It's not specifically for the narrative. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I just find certain game narratives more appealing than anything I find in movies or...
Oh, yeah, and I think that's something to be said is, like, especially during, like, the last, like, I would say 20 years or so, games have become a lot better of a medium to tell narratives with. Like Red Dead Redemption 2 or any Rockstar game, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, they have stories in them that are movie quality.
Yeah, even just a lot of Japanese games or something like that, just because I guess Bethesda games, if you want to... Maybe not the main story, but I like to think of it as more of a character story. If you want to really roleplay, you can see your character going through all these places, and it's kind of a cool narrative to tell if you think about it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But they are very movie quality, but they can't be replicated in movies that well because the reason game stories work so well is because you get to play as the characters, you grow attached to them, and also they're just they can be much longer, so they can tell.
And
the
you
story.
you can get to know a character a lot better in a 90-hour game than you can in a 2-hour-long movie.
Yeah.
And you get to know, like, their little mannerisms. In some games you get to know their family, you get to know their friends, you can understand why they do the things they do, what their childhood was like, you know.
Yeah.
You can really get to know a lot of characters in video games. But you can't really, unless it's like a movie series or TV series or something, you really get to know characters in video games, I think, on a different level than you can in a lot of other forms of entertainment.
Yeah. I think one of the main reasons is, like I brought up before, you can play as them, so you recognize them as your character when you see them in a cutscene or something, so you pay a little bit more attention.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you watch something like JoJo, you know JoJo is your main character. That's obvious. But you don't play as JoJo. You never have to put yourself in the shoes of JoJo.
Mm-hmm.
Not like playing Devil May Cry and actually having to be Dante. You don't recognize them. That's who you play as. That's who you focus on completely. Like,
Yeah, like, if something happens to Dante, something is happening to me.
yeah.
And, man, I was just about to spoil Red Dead Redemption 2 for you. But
I guess we kind of went into a character tangent, so
Yeah,
this is a new section. This is what we like in
characters are a very big part. Like, we should have went from narrative to characters or characters to narrative. But I think characters are a very important part of what makes a game enjoyable for me. Like, Red Dead Redemption 2, the gang in Red Dead Redemption 2, you grow so attached to them throughout the time you're playing the game.
Yeah.
And, dude, like, oh my god. Whoa, I almost just started, like, my voice just got shaky. I was about to start crying. There's so much stuff that happens in that game, and it's like you're, like, the story itself, there's 90 hours of cutscenes in that game.
Yeah.
And, like, overall, like, with little side quests and everything, and there's a lot of side stuff, okay? Like,
thank God, because people keep 90-hour story, and I'm like, no, I don't want to play that.
no, whenever I beat Red Dead Redemption 2, it was around 50 hours.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Okay. I can get into it then. I've always just been too scared to play it. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, but the gang members you grow attached to and stuff, and then there's people that you just hate, and you grow to, like, really care about these characters. And if you've played the first game, you're like, I shouldn't care about them. They're bad people. But then you're like,
They're different here.
no, like, you understand why they're bad, why they do the things they're doing, you know, and that's, like, it makes these terrible people feel like they have a reason to be terrible. But then it's like, then like even the most terrible people, there's just, okay, I don't, there's just one character in the game. Oh my god. What part did you get into the story? Did you even play it at all?
I didn't pass the tutorial.
Okay, there's one character in the game that's like, well, the whole game's the tutorial, first of all. But
the specified tutorial.
yeah. But there's one character, and you meet him, and then he makes you do crap, and then you're just like, oh, I don't like this guy. And then you don't like him for the rest of the game.
Is it named Dirty Dan?
Oh, might as well be. I hate him. And then at the end of the game, oh god, I hate that character.
Does he work on the side of the law?
What?
Does he work on the side of the law?
No.
Oh.
God, I hate that character.
Um,
yeah, but like just how passionate I am about how much I hate this character.
Yeah, you can you can grow very attached to characters in games.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool, and it's something that I only find myself becoming as attached to in this medium when it's done right.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, are you done talking about characters?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you want to expand on it at all. Or...
You pretty much covered the bases. Just, I need an enjoyable character. I like putting myself in the shoes of them. Like I said, I think what me and Austin are mainly getting at now is just the games that we are like, niche focus of games is, well, not niche. I guess it is niche, but like, our RPGs, our top 5 games, what we really want out of a game. But even normally stoic or just blank-faced characters like Link, maybe not so much in Ocarina of Time because you can't see his face that much, but like Twilight Princess, I could see what Link was thinking or something because he had different facial expressions. He never talked, but I could kind of feel that in with me, and the other character supported it enough to where he didn't almost need to be as strong, and his facial expressions were enough for me to put myself in his shoes and like kind of, I guess, almost kind of see him as a good character. And I think that alone is kind of impressive for some kind of characters. And that's not for everybody. Some people want a fully acted, voice acted character, and I think that'd be interesting to do with Link. But I do like, I think it's impressive what they're able to do with him without him talking.
I think that's why RPGs appeal to me a lot.
Yeah.
Is because you literally are the character. You make the character, you know?
Yeah.
That you're going to be throughout that entire experience.
But even then, I kind of like it when you have an established character, like in a JRPG, but then you can kind of shift their personality to what you want it to be.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And, there's appeal to that as well. Like, that's why I really like The Witcher 3 and stuff.
Yeah, or just a blank character who... You don't really get to make choices, but it's so fun watching the character and the story is good.
Mm-hmm. Most of, like, a Rockstar game.
Yeah, or Devil May Cry, or...
Yeah, or Uncharted, or anything. You know, those characters are set in their actions and who they are. But, you know, learning who that character is part of the experience.
Yeah. And like I said, these are just our core games now. I don't really... Like I said, I do like some platformers. It's not what I really like. It's not something I really love, and I don't think you could really make a compelling argument for why Mario is a great character. I guess you could. The argument could be he's fun and silly, and he doesn't need to be a great character to support his game. It'd be kind of weird if you had this super serious and deep man.
But is he even silly, dude?
I don't even... He goes like, woo, and he like...
There's no, like... Mario has no defining characteristics, and personality.
To be fair, Mario is the weirdest freaking mascot I've ever seen that has gotten any levels of popular... Well, maybe that, or Kumamon. Have you seen Kumamon?
Yeah.
Freaking weird. That thing's worth $1 billion. Anyway, Kumamon's basically just... I think it's the mascot for this, like, prefecture in Japan. Mm-hmm. But it's just really nasty and kind of scary.
You've seen him. like anyone who's watched this has seen him.
Yeah. He's this big black bear with like red cheeks and.
Yeah, everyone's seen him.
Yeah, yeah. If you don't think you've seen him,
you've seen him. Yeah.
Yeah. You just don't know him not by name yet.
Yeah, we all will.
There was a thing where they wanted him to run through Japan with the Olympic torch, but they didn't want the suit to get caught on fire, so they decided against it. I just think that would have been hilarious.
If the suit caught on fire?
Yeah, he's like, what? They're like, Kumamon, yeah!
And
He's
and then there's just a guy in the suit. He's like, help me! Help me!
And then like the guys behind him, don't break character!
Or what if he just stood there while he was on fire?
Yeah, with the blank, he like turned towards the camera. It's like the blank bear face.
Yeah, and he's just staring into the camera.
That'd
while
be
he's
terrifying! Anyway, that's about all I had to say for characters. I think if they support the narrative, they do it well, or if you get to choose who they are, or if there gets to be something defining about them, it's fun. Another thing I really like in games is music. I think if there's a lack of character development, I'm a sucker for this personally. If there's a lack of character development, I can kind of fall back on music, especially with character themes. A lot of Japanese games do this, but like in Kingdom Hearts, I know there's some characters who aren't super compelling, but I'll listen to their theme and I'll be like, oh my gosh. Tear up a little bit just because of how sweet it is. There's a composer, Yoko Shimomura. She does all the composing for the Kingdom Hearts games, and she's just so good at it. She also does some Final Fantasy compositions, and it's just like god tier stuff, man. I love it. But yeah, how do you feel about music being used, or if it's just fun and it complements a level?
Okay, so music for me, I found, is actually a lot bigger. Like, recently I found this, like, within, like, the last year, maybe. But I found out music is something that means a lot more to me in a video game. Like, music in general means a lot to me. Like, you know that. And I found, like, I've grown, like, I can hear a song from a video game, and I won't actively, like, listen to the music in a video game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But I can hear the beginning of a song in a video game, and I'll be all like, oh my gosh. And then, like, it just, like, gives me this feeling, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I can hear the Witcher 3 combat music start kicking up, and I'll be all like,
oh, dude, the combat music!
Yeah. Or the Halo combat music. I played Halo so much whenever I was younger with me and my little brother.
Yeah.
And then, like, just the beginning, like, drum, like the dun, 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 dun. And then, dude, that literally just, I'm thinking about it and it's giving me chills, dude. I love the music in video games.
Yeah.
Especially, like, Red Dead Redemption 2, I think, is the most recent example for me that I can hear a song from that game and the emotional reaction is, like, on a whole new level. Red Dead Redemption 2, I've only played it once, and I think that's all I'll ever be able to play it again. Because it just doesn't... I don't know. It was just, like, such a experience, man. Like, it was so final, and the way everything was put together. It's probably one of the best stories I've ever played in a video game.
What if it made sense at first, but then by the end, like, it took inspiration from, like, a Final Fantasy game or something, and you actually find out Arthur is actually a god, and he just had amnesia. And then it could, like, make it really weird.
Yeah, but there is certain songs that I can listen to in Red Dead Redemption 2, and I don't like country music, and every song in Red Dead Redemption 2 is country music, but I'll literally cry if certain songs are playing.
Yeah, sometimes games can make awful things work, too.
Yeah.
Like, if something shouldn't even exist on this earth, I'll enjoy it sometimes if it's done well in a game.
Yeah.
Like, country music, like you
Yeah, in Fallout New Vegas, one of my favorite songs is a country song in Fallout New Vegas. It's the got them spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle, jingle, jingle. You know?
Would you even consider that country?
It's country.
I consider it, like, maybe like jazz or like...
That's not jazz.
I said that wrong. What's the thing where it's like...
folk?
No. The what does Taylor Swift do now? Pop. It's kind of poppy for the day, right?
Well, yeah, but country can still be pop.
I don't. I'd consider more of a country song.
Or
like,
it may. I don't know. It's not. I guess it's not country. It's more like a. Classic, like. Broadway type of.
Yeah, maybe, but yeah, I guess you'd kind of describe it like that. Just it was common.
There's the down, 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 and then.
Yeah, and
But then there's
I consider
also
more.
Johnny Guitar. I really like that song on Fallout New Vegas, and that's just straight up country.
Yeah, and there's also the Ranger one.
Yeah, that's country.
Yeah, yeah. Theme music and battle music, very important.
Oh, dude. For me, like, battle, like combat music in video games, like, especially because I play so many games with combat, like, it's like something clicks, you know, and I can instantly go, like, sometimes I don't even know what game that is, and I'll be like, what game's it from? You know, like, like, I just instantly recognizable, like, the new God of War, a lot of the music in that game is actually very recognizable to me. Like, I can't think about, like, when the music plays or whatever, but I can hear it and I'm like, that's from God of War.
Yeah. I could, I assume the soundtrack for God of War is very grandiose.
Yeah. Well, there's also a lot of, like, little quiet stuff in it, too. Like,
I do kind of like those soundtracks, like...
There's a lot of, like, men grunting and chanting, like, the oi, oi, you know.
I love soundtracks like that. I really like soundtracks main theme. I really like Skyrim's main theme for that reason.
Oh,
yeah.
I think it's called, like, Dragonborn Returns,
yeah.
right?
Hey!
Yeah, Skyrim.
Yeah, Skyrim. I really like theme music, and I am the person who, if I like a soundtrack in a game enough, I'll take it and I'll download and listen to it.
I very, very rarely do that.
Really?
Because for me, it's kind of like I need it in the context of the game, or it's not as special to me.
Oh, I like to do it after I beat the game, so it's not like kind of worn down when I play the game, but after I've beaten it, I'll listen to it and put it into the context of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll think about the game while I'm listening to it, and I think that's why I like it. It just reminds me of playing the game. I'm like, oh yeah. So on my way to school, I can be like, that was a good game. And I can be a little happy before I go sit in prison for the next 8 hours. So what I find important, I like character themes, I like main themes, I like boss themes, I like fighting themes. I like all kind of music, and I think it just really...
I like all kind of music.
I like all kind of music. I really think it enhances the game. I guess I don't have a really specific style. If it just works, it works. I really like it, though. One thing I really, really like, this is something some Japanese games do. If American games have done it, I just really haven't noticed, but I really like it when you hear this main theme throughout the game and it doesn't have lyrics, and then you get to the final battle and it has some added things to it, and then there's lyrics to it, and you're like, oh yeah, things are getting real now. Things have just gotten intense. Or like, you know, the main theme, or like you just get to the final boss, it's like, like or it can be really sad, and it can really add the weight to how serious this final boss encounter is.
Yeah,
like if it's sad or kind of tragic.
I think it might have been a Final Fantasy game. I don't know what one it would have been, because I've played a couple of them. But I still remember I was playing, I think it was 13, and it was like at some point in the narrative, and like you were fighting this character and the music was really sad, and it was a scripted moment you were meant to lose.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, like, it adds something whenever like there's like this hopeless kind of soundtrack in the background.
Yeah, if it's for the character you're fighting or for you yourself.
Yeah, like insurmountable odds type of music.
Yeah, or like I've played some games where this character just has a really sad backstory, and you know they're evil and you have to kill them, but like you know they're or like they're fighting against something internally, and you just have to put them down, or they were your friend. It really adds to the weight of the.
Dude, freaking Naruto, man. No matter what villain it is, you feel bad for them by the end. You're all like, I get it, man. You're like, I'm sorry. Like, seriously, Naruto, I think probably has some of the best like antagonists in anime. Seriously. Not overarching, like, main
I don't know
villain
what you're
antagonists.
talking about. Cell was a pretty compelling villain.
Cell? Yeah, he was. If you really look at him and his psychology.
He's just like, I've got to absorb things and be stronger.
No, it was deeper than that. I don't want to get into it right now, but...
Was it?
Yeah, it was deeper than that.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll talk about it later. If he says it is, I'll agree with him, because I'm not, like, the Dragon Ball nerd he is. I'm
Dude,
just a very casual Dragon
Did you know
Ball.
Hercule's name is actually Mark?
What?
Yeah.
Why does he go by Hercule?
I think it was, well, he goes by Mr. Satan. Hercule's just a dub thing. But he goes by Mr. Satan because he worked at the Satan School of Martial Arts, and then he became the best there.
Huh. And
But his real name is Mark.
Is that what Akira Toriyama said?
Yeah.
What did he say? Moluku.
Yeah.
He like.
I don't know. I hope
just kidding.
so. I hope he just said Mark.
That'd be funny if he's like speaking a super fluid Japanese accent, and he's like, I don't know what he's saying, but he's like all Japanese and Mark.
Yeah, but yeah, that's his story. He's Mark, and he went to school martial arts tournament and got it all good and stuff.
That's hot.
Yeah.
Did he? It would be cool if like Satan himself personally taught him.
That'd be metal, bro.
Yeah. Like that one, the guy who started rock.
What?
The guy who started rock.
Oh, Mr. What he's talking about?
I have to take that name out.
It's a generic last name.
I'm gonna have to take it out, man.
People say their teachers' names all the time.
No, they always switch it. Like, there's this guy I watched, and he called his teacher Mr. Batman because he didn't want to use his real name.
It's literally one of the most generic names.
I don't know, man. He might sue.
You think he'd bring it down on us?
He does hate us.
Yeah, he definitely does.
No, that's a joke. He's actually a really sweet guy.
Yeah.
Very passionate.
Very sweet.
He might not sue. He might just try to stay away from you.
I have an odd infatuation with men who are educators.
And women. You just like teachers, dude.
I don't... Maybe. You know? Maybe.
Remember you like English teachers a lot.
No.
Yeah. Every 2 years you like an English teacher. That's a rule.
Do I?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you do.
The only English teacher that I fell in love with was that one. You know?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Miss Cutie Pie.
Yeah.
After she left that year, but after she left, she friended all her friends on Facebook. I mean, all her students.
Oh man, what if she happens to get whiff of this? And we're calling her Miss Cutie Pie?
Miss Cutie Pie.
Yeah. But she won't know it was her.
She will. Especially after we just gave context of what happened after she left and that she was an English teacher our junior year.
Yeah. But I mean, I think she...
I mean, sophomore year. Sorry.
Yeah. Sophomore year. Oh, God.
There's that other English teacher, like, oh.
Which one?
The one we had junior year.
Oh, that one. Poor woman. What were we even talking about?
Our teachers.
No.
No, I'm kidding.
Music.
Music. Yeah.
What I was gonna say, I think I was gonna say this because I've been thinking about it the whole time, was, I really think that, music that happens during, like, specific narrative moments and stuff really hits me harder.
Like if they have a theme and then they play the theme during like a boss fight, you kind of know
Yeah, or
its
like
significance.
or not really like a theme, but like a specific soundtrack for a specific moment, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I guess this isn't a spoiler. I'm trying to think. Yeah, no, it's not a spoiler. I'm just going to say this happens at some point. In Red Dead Redemption 2, there's a part where there's a house building montage. And there's this song, dude. And it's so, like, bouncy, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, it really puts you in a groove. And then, like, it just makes you happy. Because things... That's such a sad game.
Is it like of Mice and Men?
Dude, it hit me harder than A Mice and Men. A Mice and Men was one of the only books that I was reading it, and I was like, we were sitting in class, and I just had my hands over my face like this. I'm like, oh God, I hope no one looks at me, because I was crying. I was like, oh God. Like, no, not Lenny.
Yeah. It's really cool. It was a very short book, so it was cool how impactful a 200-page.
Yeah, dude.
It's not like the other book he wrote where it's like the man reaches under his belt, fondles his testicles and scratches.
Yeah. And then it says that another lady came and was like, oh, get your hand out of there.
No, that was her son's wife. Remember, it was Tom Joad's mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like
Either
his daughter or his daughter-in-law, right?
Daughter-in-law.
Yeah, because he's a Jode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, she's like, I'll help you with that. And then she's like, you can't do that. And he's like, when I get to California, I'll swing it around all that winter, and I'll be sitting in the bathtub pork ribs.
I was squid that juice and go get it all over me.
I really like the grandpa.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna die.
As old people do. That's another thing. All right, next category, old people.
Or what about death, man? It comes for us all. There's no avoiding it. It's inevitable.
I don't know if that's something I need to have in a game.
I think whenever we die, everything that we've done doesn't matter in the end. We have to leave our mark in the world where we can leave it.
Yeah, that's why, actually, I went over to my neighbor's house and I peed on his yard.
And he's all like, man, he's going to die, and I'm going to die, and no one's going to know about this but me and him.
Yeah.
Because he watched me do it.
Yeah.
I know he did.
Anyway, anything else you want to say about games that really... I guess design. Character design or world design. We've talked about graphics, but we haven't really talked about the design of the worlds and characters.
Oh, yeah.
I guess they just need to be appealing. If they're ugly, like I can't watch One Peach because...
One peach. One man.
One peach.
In a world. Without pits.
What?
You know how peaches have the pits in them?
Yeah.
But the peach doesn't have a pit.
So it's just extra convenient for that one man?
Yeah. He can take the pits out of peaches.
That's a superpower.
Yeah. Dude. Okay. There's this thing in JoJo where there's a character that has this ability to take pictures, like, of things that, like, aren't around him, but he has to smash a camera every time he does it.
What?
And I'm like... And I was watching it, and I was like, how do you even figure out something like that? like, imagine, like, there's all these people that have these, like, what if everyone has superpowers, but they're hyper-specific like that? like, oh, I can obtain any knowledge I want, but I have to be eating a comic book while sitting upside down, draining water from the bathtub.
Yeah. Have you seen that Caleb City skit about it? It's called, like, Superhuman Interview, and he basically just goes through all these guys, and it's like, all right, so what's your superpower? And he says, well, I can turn invisible. He's like, see, that's pretty good. So how do you do it? Well, I have to stand on a chair and flip upside down backwards. And then turn this for 15 seconds. It's like...
Yeah, but like that's what I imagine My Hero Academia is like. For the people that don't like become heroes, it's like their powers are just way too specific.
Yeah.
Like, and then even the people that are heroes in My Hero Academia, like some of their powers get kind of like oddly specific.
Like the bird guy. He's like, yeah, I'm a bird, but I also have a dark shadow who's trying to take me over.
And it's like, why? Why are you a bird?
Yeah. Or there's the his mom. She's like, what? I remember they were asking her what her quirk was, and she said, well, I can lift small objects, but only small objects.
Like she has like, she can like move things with her mind.
Yeah, but like she can only levitate like pencils and stuff. I guess that's more useful for everyday use.
I was watching it, and like there's this guy, and like he's just like, yeah, I have the ability to produce camera lenses all throughout my body. And then they're just like, yeah, it's really good because I'm a reporter.
So you can get all angles.
Yeah, like, but...
You want this recorded in 360 view? Okay.
But just, like, imagine, like, having, like, just oddly specific powers like that.
Dude, quirks in My Hero Academia don't make any sense at all. They're just so random. Like, there's that guy who has lasers, but it only comes out of his belly button.
I never watched My Hero Academia, but I've seen enough of it because my siblings watch it.
Yeah.
I've just seen quite a lot of it.
Or there's that guy who just has, like, freaking, like... he's one of the main characters, but he has jets in his legs?
Yeah! Like, what? Were you born like that?
He was!
Why are you born like that? And then, like, the main character, he's like, oh, I'm gonna eat hair, and now I have the powers.
Do you think... What I don't understand is... Surely just a little bit of All Might's hair had to get into one of his opponent's mouths once.
Or, like, had, like, some blood drawn or something, you know? Like, at some point.
Like, I don't know, man. That's just odd.
Or, like, you know, he's, like, having a shouting match with somebody, like, yelling at him, and then, like, you know, accidentally a little spit drips into the other guy's mouth.
Yeah, I think the core concept of My Hero Academia makes it a little bit hard for me to get into. I can kind of get behind it. I think it's fun, but I don't know. It's kind of... I get into the technical a little bit too much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't watch JoJo if you're worried about technicality.
They explain it, though.
I don't know, man. There's some JoJo logic.
They're, like...
Like, I was watching it, and then there's a part where there's a rope, and then he was all like... Okay, this isn't like a big spoiler or anything, but there's this part where there's someone being thrown off a ledge, and then there's a rope tied to them, and then JoJo has to grab the rope to catch them. And then he grabs the rope, and then the person's all like, ha-ha, now there's nothing you can do, you're wide open. He's like, no, you're wide open. Before you even tied the rope to them, I tied the rope around your ankles. And then he's all like... What? And then he's all like, I can let this go, and you'll fall off the ledge, and I can go catch the person.
Well, like, that's just, like, the personality of JoJo. That's not, like, a weird, unexplained plot hole that...
But, no, it doesn't make any sense.
Okay, well, I've come to accept that as part of JoJo. I don't know.
And even in JoJo, they're all like, hurry, grab the leaves, and they're like, what?
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of...
Like, grab the leaves, we can glide on them.
Oh, yeah! And then it's just so weird. I don't know. Like, I can get behind JoJo a bit more for some reason. I don't know what it is. Or, like, how he's like, hurry, I need this air pocket. I'm going to swim under farther to get to this air pocket.
I remember seeing this. It was this one thing. It was like, explain JoJo's plot to me in one panel. And then it showed someone, like it was like, no, explain JoJo's plot to me in one sentence. And then it was all like... And it was like, ha, they thought they could get me, but little did they know, there was a shark in my soup. And I was like, what? And I'm pretty sure it was from an actual JoJo, like, scene.
I love JoJo.
Dude, it's amazing.
Anyway, design, I don't know why I really brought that up. I just think the design needs to be appealing, and I think it needs to fit in universe. Like... because I know Final Fantasy 15 had this thing where someone actually found out that they just purchased one of the enemies off of a Chinese modeling
My
website.
battery's full. On my phone. It
Good.
notified me.
I'm glad to hear. Were you waiting for that?
No.
Oh, you were
I
looking over that way, so
No, I was just looking at the recording, and then my phone went up. It was just telling me my battery's full.
yeah.
I just thought you should know.
It needs to be consistent with the game. Like I don't know. It just needs to be consistent and look nice. So that's all I have to say. You done with talking about games? This has been going on for really long.
I mean, we're only at an hour 45.
So,
We can talk for another 5 hours.
you want to talk about your recommendations, or you have anything else to add?
Oh yeah, I want to say some recommendations.
Okay. Do you have anything else to add to the thing about games?
Nah.
So basically, you have to conform with our opinion, and if you don't, then you're wrong. So what do you have to...
Man, dude, what if people think we're being serious when we say stuff like that? Like, I was talking about how people are idiots if they think The Witcher 3's combat system isn't deep.
Yeah. That's just our personality. I don't want people around who think like that.
Who think The Witcher 3's combat system isn't deep?
Yeah, we'll go with that. If the people who stick around decide if that's sarcasm or not, then...
Yeah. Oh my god, I totally forgot what I was going to recommend. I had something too. I had it, man.
It was there.
Oh my god. Oh, yeah. I want people to check out the band Ice Nine Kills and the other band Dinosaur Pile Up.
Thought you were going to say Dino Thunder.
Also watch Power Rangers Dino Thunder. I think that's the best version of Power Rangers.
What about SPD?
Dude, I had a costume of that, but I never watched it.
You never watched it?
Uh-uh.
I remember me and my mom would always go watch SPD and Dino Thunder. We watched a lot of both. And Mystic Force.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Time Force by myself. And I think as a little kid, that was one of the first things that made me cry.
Power Rangers Time Force?
Yeah. I won't get into any spoilers.
You know, some people actually might get mad because people really like Power Rangers.
There are, like, before I watched Black Nerd, I didn't know there was such a hardcore fandom for it.
Dude, like, yeah, people like Power Rangers.
Yeah. I can kind of understand the comics, maybe. I haven't read one, but I heard they're better.
Yeah. Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, but I recommend the bands Ice Nine Kills and Dinosaur Pile Up. Ice Nine Kills is a little bit more of a heavy band. Their most recent albums have been songs about like horror movies and stuff, which I think is kind of cool. Like they have songs about It, Carrie, The Shining, classic horror movies, Friday the 13th, Halloween, stuff like that. And then Dinosaur Pile Up is just more of like they're a pretty recent band, kind of hard rock. They're pretty nice. Just check them out.
Interesting. I have a couple recommendations for you guys. One of these books is The Strange Works of Yoko Taro. He's the director of a game. The games Nier Automata, Drakengard, Nier, those game series. But what it does is, even if you're not a fan of his works, it does include spoilers for his games, which I don't know why I didn't think it wouldn't. So I got spoiled on a few games. But it's really interesting to see how a game director can kind of comes to make a game, the development process, what was happening in the world at the time, because it goes very in depth with the restructuring of Japanese game companies and how he's doing things with that. And it's a very interesting insight into the life of a video game director, and how with Nier Automata, everything, he was kind of this B producer guy who just only got shoved onto these things. Then Nier Automata,
producer.
B director. He only produced like,
I was thinking about him like sitting there and like little bees flying out of his butthole or something.
ew. But and then with Nier Automata, everything just kind of lined up perfectly for him. So that's how he got a really good game out of it. But then after that, another thing I have to recommend for you guys is The Giver.
Oh,
I know.
dude.
I know. Yeah. I'm taking off
That's
my
such a
shirt for
good
this.
book. Why'd you take your shirt off?
I don't. I gotta talk about The Giver. So.
When you talk about The Giver, the clothes gotta come on.
So in The Giver, you guys were probably about in 5th grade when you read this, so that's why I'm recommending it. But that was I saw a lot of kids in class who just zoned out during The Giver, but that book actually hooked me. Like,
Dude,
super hard.
Yeah, don't put any major plot points or anything in this. Like, dude, it's like basically all you need to know is that it's a story about a utopian society.
In the future.
Yeah.
It really doesn't dwell on the technology too much, but it's there.
Not like the freaking movie. The movie's terrible. Don't watch the movie.
I've never seen it.
Don't watch it. It'll just make you angry.
But, yeah, it'll focus on these, focuses on other things. It does have slight focus on technology towards the end. I won't get into why. But it's a very interesting progression of the novel, and it's definitely worth your time. It's not too long either. I think it's about 200 pages, 150.
Yeah, it's not a very long book.
No, but it's very good. With what's in it is actually a very interesting take on society, and it just tells a good story too. So I think it's a very good book, and if what he says is true, and what everyone else says is true, because I haven't seen the movie because of the reviews, I'd recommend that. And not an actual bad book like... what was that other book we had to read in 5th grade? They came out with a movie recently.
Oh, snap.
The one that just made no sense.
A time...
A Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah, A Wrinkle in Time. You know, I think it might have just been, like, I wasn't interested in it at the time. I don't know. I think the book just... I think it's okay, but it's not good. It's not great.
It's not, like, great to be considered an American classic.
No, it's not like of Mice and Men or
No.
like
A lot of books...
To Kill a Mockingbird.
And a lot of... To Kill a Mockingbird, yeah. Like, a lot of books, people say, oh, American classics are just so stupid. If you actually get into it, they can be some really good reads.
Yeah.
Like, you can start to understand why they're American classics once you pay attention. I just feel like a lot of people don't really get that concept because it's forced on them, and whenever something's forced on you, it's never as fun.
No, like in the book we're reading right now, Grapes of Wrath, I'm enjoying the book.
Yeah.
I'm invested in the characters and stuff, I like it, but it's just, I don't know. Oh, excuse me. There's just stuff about it that, I don't know. I think it might be just because I was told to read it and I'm not reading it of my own volition.
Yeah. Now that we're reading it out of class, I think it'll be more interesting because now I guess it's kind of your choice.
Mm-hmm.
You get to decide when you want to read it. Because what they were doing was they were just blasting an audiobook for an hour and 25 minutes as soon as we walked in the door.
Yeah, and then also the narrator, dude. I just couldn't get, like...
He's very slow, but he does character voices really well.
Yeah, like the old man.
Yeah.
I'm in them grapes.
Yeah, just a kooky old man.
Yeah.
So I guess just go read American Classics instead of A Wrinkle in Time. You can skip that one. That's okay.
Yeah, don't Huckleberry Finn was pretty good.
Huckleberry Finn was pretty good. It kind of made me a little mad at the end how they just took away any emotional weight to the story. I won't say why.
Yeah, don't spoil it.
I won't.
Tell me after the podcast.
I will. It just gets it's kind of a serious thing, and then it gets a little light at the end.
Yeah, never mind. I see that.
Yeah.
I see that.
It also has Tom Sawyer in it a little bit. I won't say where, but the movie we watched completely removed him at all.
Yeah, it did.
It was really weird because they were friends, and I'm pretty sure Huckleberry Finn is in Tom Sawyer.
I think he is.
Yeah.
And then also, I think there might be just stories about pathological liars.
Yeah,
Because I think Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, I don't think neither of them happen the way they say in the books.
But dude, Huckleberry Finn, it sounds like he has like his charisma up to 100.
Yeah.
He's very...
Yeah, his charisma skill, like, you're only supposed to max out at a 10.
Yeah.
But then he just went up to, like, freaking 110.
And charisma and sneak.
Yeah. Just, I don't know. Odd things.
Intelligence.
5.
He does some kind of smart things for his age.
Nah, there's a point wherever they're all like, I'm not gonna say, but they're like, we need to break something out, and then they're all like, nah, we gotta make it look cool though.
That wasn't him, though.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But then he's so easily influenced.
No, he was just kind of playing along. He thought it was fun.
I don't know. I think he might just be a stupid kid. And be all like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I was about to spoil the end of the movie, the Disney movie. I kind of want to because I consider the book to be better in this case.
How old is it?
The Disney movie?
Yeah.
We watched it in class.
It's old, right?
It's old.
Yeah, spoil it. Nobody cares about that crap.
Okay, so if you cares about movies for spoilers for Huckleberry Finn.
Yeah, it was probably made in like the 60s.
Yeah, keep in mind this isn't a spoiler on the book, which I won't spoil because it actually is really good. But in the movie, he just runs away into the wilderness.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Yeah, and then the guy he's with the entire time. Because the lady who adopted him is actually just really worried. She's like, Huckleberry! And then the guy he's been traveling with the whole time was like, and then it shows him running off into the field. It's like the end. It's like, what? It's like, what?
He just ran off into the woods so he could starve and freeze to death. And then the other guys are like, stupid kid. I'm not going to be a slave no more. What?
Alright, guys, so that was episode...
Why'd you do that?
episode 15 or 14 or...
It's not a spoiler.
14 of the... It kind of is a spoiler, Austin.
You literally learn that he's a slave in the first, 10 pages.
Yeah, but then you ruined the ending.
Of the movie? You just said he ran off.
No. Yeah, you didn't spoil anything. Anyway, guys...
Yeah, did you have to think about if I spoiled something?
No, I just wanted to do something...
Why are you staring at me then?
I don't know. Well, I guess I'll get back to closing out. This has been episode 14.
No, I want to know.
Have a sexy day, guys. And if you haven't
This isn't okay.
slept naked, I guess you could try it out. Bye.
Subscribe.
Oh, yeah, like and subscribe. Do that.
Yeah, like and subscribe. This is Camel X. Subscribe to me because I'm better.
And Severn Weeb. Which one of us actually has content?
Me?
Yeah.